All right, welcome back to the 24th floor. The NBA Finals is over. The New York Knicks are celebrating, actually right now, their first championship in decades after defeating the Spurs in 5 games.
So, yeah, I thought so. I was asking Zeke before, and I was like, I'm pretty sure we all picked the Spurs.
Yeah, but see, if you go back and listen, you would think Zeke picked the Knicks.
Nah,
the way how he was saying all the good things about the Knicks.
Picking the Spurs because we thought that I liked the Knicks because I thought the Knicks were a veteran team that could have a chance to win it, but the Spurs just seemed to be the team of destiny at the point in time. We were all wrong.
We were all wrong. And, Ruben likes to say that I'm wrong, but we're all wrong in this. But the big thing is, what does this title mean as the NBA shifts its attention to the draft, which we've been talking about for the past 2 segments, the offseason? So to help answer that question and kind of put a bow on the season is our guy, ABC 24 reporter and proud Bostonian, Ezekiel Telemaco.
I feel like I shouldn't be smiling after the Knicks won the championship. I just feel like I'm doing a disservice to my Bostonians that are watching from back home. It's just like a bittersweet thing. Again, my dad is from the Bronx, so he's a fan of the Knicks. I was happy for him. I have a lot of friends and family in New York as well. Most of my family from my dad's side is from New York. They still live there, so I'm happy for them. But it's like I got a stomachache. It just doesn't feel right. So in terms of the offseason moves, we've heard a lot about Giannis, right? And I want to speak about that in particular as to what.
Isn't that in your best thing? You know what I'm saying? You want to spoil it?
Oh yeah, let me hold that back. But in terms of, you want me to talk about the Knicks in terms of what?
Yeah, like you're a Northeast guy. They're partying right now in New York, and you just in there.
But there's a difference between Boston and New York.
He's spoiled, man.
I mean, I think that it's about time for them to win. One in 53 years. I respect it. I don't want to be hating on them. Let them celebrate their one championship. It'll probably be another 60 years before they get another one. But when it comes to,
I'll be Ruben's age when they win it.
When it comes to the
but
team,
you still won't look this good.
When it comes to the team in particular, I like that team. I like Jalen Brunson. I like Robinson. I like Cat. He's Dominican like
Mitchell
myself.
Robinson?
I just think that the team is a gritty team. They play basketball the right way.
Like that dude right there, Dylan Harper.
They play ball the right way, and they're a disciplined team. The Spurs lost the series because they were undisciplined, and every game was within 1 or 2 possessions, and there was just some costly mistakes by Wembanyama, some costly mistakes by De'Aaron Fox, and it was just a series that they weren't ready for.
They were just giving De'Aaron Fox the business after that.
Yeah,
he just, again, the youth kind of showed in the finals. The youth and the inexperience showed in the finals.
Yeah.
Wemby was non-existent when the game mattered the most with, the last 2 minutes of each of those games. De'Aaron Fox couldn't make a shot. He might have had money on the game the wrong way. I shouldn't even say that.
He was an NFT scammer, so
let me swap that. A really good friend of mine, his daughter is De'Aaron Fox's wife.
Oh.
So I actually don't think he had anything on the game. He couldn't hit a shot when they needed him to, and that's crazy.
And he's getting a lot of money for that too.
Yeah,
you had people calling, local law enforcement talking about, hey, robbery. $260 million for 4 years for De'Aaron Fox.
All I will tell people is Google De'Aaron Fox NFT. That's all I'm going to say. And ever since then, it's the reason he's called Swiper the Fox on Twitter. But nevertheless, I don't like to really victory lap too much when it comes to basketball. But
how could you victory lap?
No.
Oh.
So remember we had our guy Rish on the program a few weeks ago. Now Rish and I told you about this, we've been high on Dylan Harper since high school. And we were telling people, look, man, Dylan Harper is going to be him. I'm a Hawks fan. Just like you talk about you being Boston, I talk about my Atlanta reference. I was so high on Dylan Harper, I wanted the Hawks to trade Trae Young before they did to get Dylan Harper because I knew he was going to be good. And for him to just show out in this playoffs, in the final, you talk about the youth. Dylan Harper was a guy who was not afraid of the moment. They just didn't put the ball in his hands that much.
But he doesn't shoot the ball great.
Harper?
Yeah, he gets to the rack like nobody's business.
He's not afraid.
But he has no fear, and he is a gamer. He likes to make the big play, but he doesn't shoot the ball great. Not at the level he's going to have to be ultimately to be that effective. Because you have to be able to at least keep him honest, and you can tell right now that they don't have to with him right now.
But neither does
I have a question real quick. Would you have started him seeing how he was playing this series over De'Aaron Fox?
Yes.
Do you think that part of the reason why they lost the series was because of coaching as well?
Yes.
There's no way Popovich would have went out like that.
Yeah, and that's, Pop. If you didn't watch Popovich coach back in the day, he didn't care who you were. Tim Duncan,
He put Ginobili on the bench. He turned Ginobili into the six-man. Ginobili used to be a starter.
Yeah, he didn't care. He just wanted to win. So I do think that Mitch had a little bit of a problem managing the game and not making adjustments throughout the course of the series.
Not making timeouts.
I was just about to say that.
The timeouts were killing. If you're a Spurs fan, you're pulling your hair out watching the back end of those games because the Knicks would be making a run, and you're thinking, just call timeout. Call timeout and run whatever it is your best set is. Run your best set right now just to get a bucket. And they just never really got into that.
Was this game that they're showing right here, Game 4, was this the game where y'all was like, okay, the Knicks are going to
No. I thought for sure the Spurs would win in San Antonio in Game 5. This was a phenomenal
the OG, the hand of God.
I'll tell you somebody that I'm not high on is Josh Hart.
Man, you going to get me in trouble
I can't do Josh Hart.
If I say what I really want to say
Josh Hart can't block out to save his life when the game's on the line.
OG saved his life this game because Josh Hart missing layups, a wide open layup, and then not boxing out, which led to this play even needing to be a thing. Mm-hmm. You know, so OG, I've been a big OG guy since he was at Indiana. I wanted OG the Hawks to trade for him when he was, when Toronto had put him up. And so I'm happy for him. He's so humble. He's so quiet, soft-spoken. And that's interesting to say when it comes to New Yorkers, obviously, as you can relate. And that's kind of my thing. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater. I don't hate the New York Knicks team. I hate the fans. I hate the New Yorkers. Those people are a disease to America.
Beating up fans.
They're beating people up.
Please send your hate mail to Richard.Denson.
They are beating people up in the streets. They are unbearable. And like the fact that we're taping this, recording this, whatever right now, and it's going on in New York with their orange, blue trash cans, and it's going to be some cars set on fire. It's going to be some places TP'd, places egged. Why do we as a society have to be happy for them? Because they're perennial losers? I know what it's like to be a fan of a team that's been perennial loser, being a Cubs fan. And even Chicagoans, which our EP, Erica Stockstill, will tell you, like, Chicagoans weren't unbearable when the Cubs won the World Series in 2016.
No, so why are they handled it the right way?
Exactly.
I can't say anything again because Boston fans don't have the best reputation when it comes to a lot of things. I think a lot worse things than New York has a reputation.
I think a lot of fans, a lot of cities have the same. Now, maybe not to the degree of your vile hatred of New York, but I think most cities have some sort of issue when their team wins, either the night of the win or on the parade.
But we can agree that there's some fan bases that are worse, right? Arguably, like when you think of the ultimate worst fan bases, and again, I'm taking myself out of the Boston shoes. You think of what? Philly. You think of Boston
and New York.
And New York, right? Is there any other teams that were organizations that you would put in there? Maybe for individual franchises.
As the worst.
New Orleans.
You think New Orleans?
Man, when they won that Super Bowl, oh my God. Maybe it's just for me because growing up in Atlanta,
LA fans too. LA fans. How did I even forget?
They don't care.
Atlanta is a big transplant city, so I've always seen a bunch of people from different walks of life of different cities. And New Yorkers were the worst. They come down from and they think they can just take over the city and talk trash. I dealt with it with Floridians. That's why I don't like the heat. I dealt with it with New Orleans people, with the Saints after Hurricane Katrina. I'm not going to get into the roasting that we would have as kids because that's a little bit NFSW. But you know what I'm saying?
But I don't know if this makes me sound crazy, but I don't mind a passionate fan. Like even like when it comes to Eagles fans, like they do some crazy stuff. I don't mind as long as you're actually there. Like they showed up. They didn't win a Super Bowl until 2018. So I'm not going to say I respect them, but I admire that they're passionate, for their team. Whereas other fan bases like, let's say the Clippers, right? It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, so what is there to root for?
I want to be very clear on something here, Rich. You got a lot of hate in your heart.
For New Yorkers, I do.
Not just Floridians, New Yorkers.
Well,
New Orleans,
Miami people.
More than anything. I think we need to take a second and let Rich get that hate out.
And you the one that talk. You the
biggest
that hate
out of your heart. Look at it. Look at it right now.
He's the biggest hater on this program.
Listen. During the break, and I don't know when we have to go to break, but when we go to break, we're going to take a minute, right?
Oh,
and we'll let him woosah, get himself together, and then when we come back, we'll be able to do that. So, but that's all I got for that. Can we get back to the NBA Finals and get off of your hateful tirade? Worst part about the Finals was what to you?
I honestly think multiple instances by Wembanyama not just taking over, not wanting the ball. He looked like Chet, just like we talked about Chet.
Ouch.
He looked just like that, where he was spooked. He's like OG getting that tip, and dude, he's 7'6".
The only reason that happened is because he sent the double on Brunson instead of just letting Fox play straight up.
But I call that sloppy hoops. You know,
like why is Wembanyama guarding Brunson with the game on the line?
He had multiple instances to prove that he was a guy and show why he brought that team to the finals, and he just looked like Chet, like I mentioned.
What about you? Worst thing you saw in the finals?
I mean, I'm gonna echo what Zeke said. I didn't like more. Only my thing with Wembanyama was more of like the fouling and kind of the dirty plays, the like I'm in your head, the whole. I mean,
the fake demon.
Yeah, if the Spurs would have won that game in Game 5, Wembanyama may not have played Game 6 because he put his foot under Brunson and they didn't call it flagrant in them. But I'm sure the NBA would have ruled that and be like, yeah, it's a flagrant, which means he would have been out of there. So I think Wembanyama and y'all were beating up Chet in the last round. And I kept saying, hold on, we got to give these young players grace. To me, Wembanyama, this loss reminds me a lot of when LeBron lost in his first year in the finals. Now, granted, the Spurs were a better team than that Cavs team, but Wembanyama's 22. He's got a lot in front of him if he stays healthy. And I think this obviously isn't the last we'll see him at this stage. So that core is solid. And that's something I hope the Grizzlies can one day be, is as just like that Spurs core. So Wembanyama, he'll be back.
Well, right. Ruben, we don't have that much time. What do you think?
Worst thing I saw was, again, Wembanyama's performance, just because there's so much, and I'm sorry, I know you say he's a young guy, but when you get that much hype about it, that's what the league is building on. They're building on you being the guy. And then, and I know everybody thinks big guys shoot threes now. He can't shoot. He can't shoot.
Wemby?
Bro, did you watch the finals? He's probably 2 for 18, man. The dude does not shoot threes very well at all. And so, to me, he should have been playing more of an inside-out game instead of an outside-in game. He had the chance to win the game with the pull-up jumper. Didn't do that either. Right? So, inside, outside. You're 7 foot, whatever. Get your butt in the paint.
Unfortunately, the Knicks are NBA champs because of Wemby's shortcomings. But we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, it's the best thing I saw, and Zeke gets to get into real reporter mode.
You guys got some stuff coming for you. I'll just keep it at that.